and we are at our last film for the day. We are going to be talking about Tadka. Now, no, I'm not talking about the food. I am actually talking about the movie called Tadka Love is Cooking. It is a remake of the 2011 Malayalam blockbuster Salt and Pepper. So very exciting to get into this review. Let's get into it. I actually had the chance to watch this, and I have some thoughts on this movie. But we'll get to ultimately what my final thoughts are here. And this is telling the love story that connects two characters named Tuki and Madhura. And so we have Tuki, who is an archaeologist, and we have Madhura, who's a radio jockey, and they meet, well past their, adolescent years, if you will, after their 20s, and they're both single. They're both looking to get married. And Tuki even has like friends who are trying to encourage him to, settle down and whatnot. He's a bit behind compared to the rest of his friend group. So Tuki and Madhura get connected through a phone call. And what they don't know is that this phone call is actually going to, set a chain of events that'll eventually get them meeting together. And at first, when they do meet each other, they're actually very, I would say they're quite opposites. This is a common thing we see in a lot of Bollywood films where, the two opposites attract type thing. Tuki and Madhura are both polar opposites. However, they do have one thing in common. That is a love for food, and that they believe that they're too old to fall in love. So after me saying this, you can kind of imagine where this film is going to go. And as an audience member, I knew immediately where this film was going to go. And so I sat through the rest of this movie just watching, the little cat and mouse game between Tuki and Madhura, right? We both knew, like, everyone in the theater knew that once these two met, that they were going to fall in love and that they were going to do everything. And you know what? We have watched plenty of movies here where that's been okay, where, from the get-go, you kind of know where things are probably going to head. But the writing in the film allows for the audience member to actually really enjoy, like, various moments or situational comedy within the film, so that we can at least, sit down, enjoy the ride, even though we know where we're going to end up going. And this film didn't quite do that in the same way. This film also had, I would say, kind of an ensemble of a cast, if you will. We have Nana Patakar, Tapsi Pannu, Shreya Saran, Ali Fazal, and I just really don't think the writing did any of these actors or actresses justice. I think a film could have been put together to where situational comedy could have been done. All these actors have been in previous films that have been able to accomplish that as well. So I really do think that the writing here was just kind of what made, I would say, the chemistry really just kind of fall flat. Ultimately, though, the climax is that the couple, gets together. They are removing, the masks that they present each other, and their complexities are opening up. And ultimately, they convince, everyone around them that it's never too late to find your soulmate, which I think is supposed to be the theme or the message of this movie. I think it's kind of trying to show that, like, you can be, older than 25 or 30 and still, you're still ready for marriage. Like, you can still accept that. However, like I said, it was 115 minutes of drama / comedy that didn't really quite land it for me. Em, do you have any additional thoughts?
Well, this movie has been remade in several languages before, and this is the first time it's been made in Hindi. And I was expecting a lot because Nana Patekar is such a brilliant actor, and he's coming back to movies after such a big gap. I have never watched Shreya Saran before, but she was a delight to watch. She's peppy and she's vivacious and she looks good. The only thing that was off for me was, number one, the fact that Ali Fazal and Tapsi Pannu, such brilliant actors, did not get enough canvas to perform, really. And Tapsi Pannu's dubbing wasn't her voice at all. That's not how Tapsi Pannu talks. So I think that kind of pushed me a little off for the movie. I'm pretty sure they could have found Tapsi and had her dub, but for some reason she did not, and that was kind of weird. But having said that, it's a nice little slice of life story about an older man and an older woman trying to find love and how they connect, and all the situational comedy about they sending other people to see each other before they really figure out who they are. And it's a small little thing, but yeah, you're right. A lot of it just didn't land because the characters just couldn't. The characters just couldn't click for me.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, and I think, I mean, there's when we watch things like this, there's always something there that like a movie could, make really well. I think there's always like, whether it be the substance of what you're writing or maybe the actors that you have like available to you, there's always like something there that can make a movie really shine. But this one just did not try to, I guess, capitalize on those opportunities that were given. But nonetheless, we had a stellar lineup of movies today. We got plenty that we would recommend to you. Me personally, this is a one-time watch. I'm not saying don't go watch it, but I'm just saying that like you've probably seen a movie like this before, and you probably won't be coming out of the theater with anything new or wanting to watch it a second time.
Absolutely. And by the way, guys, it is streaming on Z5 Global. Go get the app and watch it if you want to.
And with that, we are actually going to be closing this episode. Like I said, we had a banger of a lineup. We had 4 movies for you guys this week. So we know that there's plenty for you to be watching at home. Make sure to stay tuned for our next episode where we will be having a few more series in there as well. Make sure to follow us on our Twitter, which is Dacey's Live, our Instagram, Dacey's Livegram, and stay tuned on our website, daceys.live, where we post all of our exclusive content, news, little bits within the Bollywood film and media world, but as well as that, this is where we post all of our reviews and our TV show reviews. So you can actually get access to those reviews before this recording comes out. So if you're ever interested in hearing what we have to say right whenever things come out, make sure to visit daceys.live. We know you'll enjoy our great takes on there. But with that, we are signing off.